The thousands of documents related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein released by Congress. President Trump's name appears hundreds of times in the newly released batch of emails and text messages as well.
This is a real photograph of Trump and Bill Clinton, and it kind of makes the recent Epstein email disclosures make a little more sense. So this is one of the emails released by the House Oversight Committee recently, detailing an email chain between Jeffrey Epstein and his brother Mark. As you can see at the bottom, Mark and his brother Jeffrey are talking about Donald Trump at the beginning of this email chain. At one point, Epstein states that he's with Bannon. I'm assuming that's Steve Bannon. And then Mark Epstein, Jeffrey's brother, emails him and says, ask him if Putin still has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. If you don't know, Bubba is a very common nickname for former US President Bill Clinton, who Trump claims publicly that he hates, but who he has had a very close personal friendship with in the past. And I don't know about you, but I don't typically just grab my friends on the crotch. This is definitely a strange photo. If you even check out the top of that email chain, there's another weird message. And Mark Epstein, Jeffrey's brother, emails him saying, you and your boy Donnie can make a remake of the movie Get Hard. Now, could this possibly be true? Could there potentially be photos of Donald Trump blowing Bubba, aka Bill Clinton? Obviously, I do not have the answers, but this is an official piece of information released by the US government, and this rabbit hole goes extremely deep.
Okay, this is breaking news, but a new leaked email from the deceased human trafficker that was best friends with Donald Trump and Bill Clinton says that there are photos of Donald Trump giving George Slopadopoulos to Bill Clinton. While they're waiting on an official vote on the actual FBI files, the House Democrats have subpoenaed a bunch of emails from the estate of the person that did not unalive himself. And these are thousands and thousands of emails, okay? Too many for any one person to vet by themselves. It's too much for even like a whole organization of people who are professionals in doing that to do even like the span of like a couple of months. So it's taking a while for all of the emails to become public knowledge, but the one that has been making the rounds on the internet right now is a private conversation between the deceased individual and someone else where they're gossiping about Trump, and they say that Vladimir Putin might have pictures of Donald Trump kissing Bill Clinton, but he ain't kissing him on the mouth. Now, we don't know, right? We don't know, but this is a private conversation between two people that thought these things would never, ever release, right? And I don't know what to believe. I'm just telling you the facts here, yo.
So what the hell is going on between Trump and Bill Clinton, and why is it suddenly all over your feed? Let me attempt to explain, because it is quite a doozy, and at the end I'll give you my take on what this really all means. It all stems from this email thread as part of the trove of new Epstein emails that were released recently. It's a conversation between Jeffrey Epstein and his brother Mark Epstein. And it starts like this. Mark Epstein asks his brother, "How are you doing? What is your boy Donald up to now?" referring to Donald Trump. Epstein replies, "All good. Bannon," referring to Steve Bannon, Trump's longtime advisor, "with me." And this is where things get bizarre. Mark asks his brother, ask him, Bannon, if Putin has any photos of Donald Trump blowing Bubba. Bubba was Bill Clinton's Secret Service name. Mark then says, "You and your boy Donnie," again referring to Trump as your boy to Epstein, "can make a remake of the movie Get Hard," which is a movie with Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart where they are in prison together. And Jeffrey Epstein responds to his brother by saying, "You mean Donnie T," which I guess was Jeffrey Epstein's nickname for Trump. And then, of course, to wrap it up, Mark Epstein says, "I'd rather be in Donnie D's shoes." To recap that email thread, Mark Epstein asks his brother how his boy Donald Trump is doing, and then asks if Putin has any photos of Donald Trump blowing Bill Clinton. Epstein responds with a nickname of Donald Trump, Donnie T, and they start making jokes about Jeffrey Epstein and Trump being in prison together. Look, the veracity of Mark Epstein's implication that Putin had, these images of Trump doing certain acts to Bill Clinton, I'm not so sure, but here is certainly what is more telling and more relevant. Donald Trump was referred to as Epstein's boy. He had a nickname for him. Donald Trump and Epstein had a very close relationship, and as if you recall and remember, Donald Trump, for months and years, has said he had no relationship with Epstein. He said he wasn't in the Epstein files, and here he is in these emails being referred to as Epstein's boy. Yeah, not good at all. In fact, very terrible. Look, if Donnie T doesn't have anything to hide, he should be in favor of releasing the Epstein files and not taking Lauren Boebert into the Situation Room to try to convince her to not sign onto the petition. So look, those files, because of the work of Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna and House Democrats, will hopefully be released soon. And look, we'll just have to see if there's anything more about Trump and Bill Clinton. But look, no matter what, Epstein, Trump, intertwined, involved, very, very, very bad stuff.
Turns out Donald Trump gave Bill Clinton a blowjob, so I guess it makes sense why he called it the big, beautiful bill. But I just wanted to hop on here and congratulate Donald Trump on being the first gay president. Now, I know what you might say, but Bill Clinton was president. Yeah, but, it's not gay when you're the one receiving. It's only gay when you're the one giving it. A man will take a blowjob from anybody. Anywho, it made me kind of feel bad for Donald Trump when I found out about this, because I'm like, oh, he's been jealous of Hillary this whole time. That's why he gave her such a hard time during the 2016 election. That's probably the only reason he ran for president in the first place, is so he could embarrass her. I can't imagine how devastated he was when he realized that Bill wasn't going to leave Hillary for him. And then, during this last campaign, he had a relationship or a situationship with Elon Musk. And then Elon Musk broke up with him, and he was devastated. I think Elon probably ghosted him, but Donald Trump was devastated for weeks after that. Anytime he was asked about Elon, he was like, "Yeah, if he called me, I would answer." Like, you could see the heartbreak and hear it in his voice. In fact, he was so devastated that he tried to get the Supreme Court to make gay marriage illegal again.
Okay, pause. Donald Trump was talking what? Huh? How is this not break? Why is the world carrying on like we just didn't hear that? Why are people going to work? Because I would be standing on the streets like this. Like, huh? This is yours, president. White people, they be the real ghetto people. They are the real ghetto, because clearly this is not even breaking news. Disgusting. Disgusting. Mind you, this isn't even the worst of it. The Epstein files have not been released. So they're preparing us, because this information that 10 years ago would have stopped the world at its tracks, it's basically not the worst of it. Okay. This world has finished. We don't even care anymore. That's the sad thing. Because how has the world not stopped?
You're telling me that Trump blew in Bill Clinton's saxophone? You're telling me there's actual real-life emails that were dumped that says Trump gave the Gluck Gluck 3000 to Bill Clinton. Shouldn't have done that with my cheek, damn. I have never not wanted to see proof of that. I've never more been like, maybe that should only touch the eyes of people who need to do the prosecution, because I would rather light my eyeballs on fire with acid and glass than see that.
So Trump blew Bubba. Holy shit. Okay, imagine you're Bill Clinton. Not while that was happening. Obviously, I would never ask you to imagine that. That's not humane. But imagine you're Bill Clinton. In 2015, you are watching your wife, Hillary Clinton, run for presidency against your side piece? Two people who used to blow you are running for the presidency. That brings a whole new meaning to the head of the state. That's crazy. Bill Clinton got impeached for getting dough. Donald Trump might get impeached for giving it to Bill Clinton. That's crazy. One wiener has never destroyed two presidencies. I'm going to stop, but before I do, here's my impression of Donald Trump seeing Bill Clinton's wiener for the first time. Wow, what a cock. I've never seen such a beautiful schlong. I can't even call you Bill Clinton anymore. You know what I'm going to call you? I'm going to call you Big beautiful Bill.
Yeah, they actually have blackmail on him, and here is the proof. They got blackmail on Donald Trump, and Putin has it. This is what the email says. This is part of the documents that were just released a couple of days ago. I'm now sifting through them, and this is the main one people are talking about. And once you're right here, it says, ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. Obviously, there is absolutely no context except for the fact that he's asking if Putin has the photos of Trump, referring to Putin having some kind of incriminating photo of Donald Trump. You see, KGB officers usually like to get blackmail on the people that they're trying to go after. And we kind of speculated for quite some time that Putin had something on Trump, which is why he was being so pro-Russia for quite some time. I do need to clarify that Bubba was typically the nickname for Bill Clinton, but clearly that's not a thing here. And Epstein's own brother, Mark, who, if you actually see up here, he said it's not Clinton. It's not Clinton. But he also didn't give any clarity on who it could be, or did he actually give any understanding of the meaning of this message? But we have to assume that Putin has some kind of photos, because then this joke wouldn't have made sense.
Putin has been blackmailing Donald Trump with what? With videos of him giving head to Bill Clinton? Am I in a South Park episode?
I heard somebody say Donica Lewinsky, and I cannot stop laughing.